to eat, but many of us do not consume enough of it, and that mineral is iron. Around the world, iron deficiency is the most common iron deficiency, so I want to talk to you about why iron is such an important nutrient and how you can incorporate it more in your diet through dietary modifications. So the reason why we need iron in the diet is because it acts as a cofactor for many enzymes, and enzymes that are needed for amino acids, different things, they all need iron. And then iron is also a component of the proteins hemoglobin and myoglobin. And as you can see in the picture, iron is in the center of that heme there. It's symbolized by Fe. And so if you're not consuming enough iron, or if you're losing iron, you can't make hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is the part in the blood that carries oxygen. So you need enough iron to regulate that. So the recommendations for males are 8 milligrams per day. Females, it's 18 milligrams per day. But if you're over 51, it goes back down to 8 milligrams per day. And vegetarians, you need to consume 1.8 times more iron, because the bioavailability of the iron that they're consuming is not as readily absorbed in the body. But I'll talk about that a little later. How you can, if you don't consume enough iron, you're going to develop what is known as an iron deficiency anemia, and this can happen in one of 4 ways. Either you are losing a lot of blood because maybe you have heavy menstruation, or you have gastrointestinal bleeding, so you're losing a lot of blood through that way. Another way is if you don't consume enough iron in the diet, and that can be if you're a vegetarian, or if you're just simply not eating enough iron. Also, if you have a pre-existing condition such as celiac disease that affects the absorption of iron, you can develop an iron deficiency or iron deficiency anemia. And then if you're pregnant, your blood volume is increasing, and also you need to supply hemoglobin to the fetus, so that's going to affect the amount of hemoglobin that you have. So with iron deficiency anemia, as you can see in the picture, there's not enough hemoglobin, and also it results in paler or smaller red blood cells. And that's what you want to avoid, because there are a lot of bad symptoms that come with that, and it affects your functioning. So I'm going to talk about that. So some of the symptoms of iron deficiency anemia include fatigue, pale skin, weakness, shortness of breath, dizziness, lightheadedness. This really strange thing called pica, which is when you want to eat things that are not food items, such as dirt or ice, and maybe tingling in the legs. So this obviously affects your functioning, and as college students, you don't want that. So I want to help you to learn how to eat more iron so that you can avoid these symptoms. So some sources of iron. You can get iron in things from meat and non-meat, but the difference is that meat has a type of iron called heme iron, which means that it is readily absorbed in the body, and you don't need to eat it with other things in order for it to be absorbed. But then plant foods and animal products that don't come from the flesh of the meat, they have what's called non-heme iron. And that type of iron, you do need to eat it with something else in order for it to be better absorbed in your body. So you can just see that some of the best sources include clams. And then I differentiated between the different types of iron because I wanted to show that you can get, if you're a vegetarian, you can get a good source of iron from like fortified foods, like such as cereals, but you just got to eat it with something that enhances iron, and so that's what I'm going to talk about next. So does anyone know what you need to eat with non-heme iron in order for it to be better absorbed?
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C, that's one of them. And then the other one is the heme iron. So if you have like a meal where you have meat and then you have, say, beans or something, if you eat the beans with the meat, you'll get that non-heme iron better absorbed. talk about some sources of vitamin C that you can pair with non-heme iron. What's the first source of vitamin C that everybody thinks of? Can anyone name? Orange juice, exactly. But there's actually better sources of vitamin C that you can pair with non-heme iron sources so that you can better absorb that iron. So guava is the #1 source. Red sweet pepper is also a good source. Kiwi fruit, and then orange juice, and the list goes on. But you can just take these foods and pair it with the iron sources from the previous slide, and you can better enhance the absorption of that non-heme iron. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to make a very healthy and delicious source of iron. And it's a black bean salad, and I chose this because both vegetarians and non-vegetarians can enjoy this, and if you do eat meat, you can pair this with a meat source, and it'll enhance the absorption of the iron in the beans. So I'm going to do that right now. And for sake of time, I already pre-cut all of my ingredients, but what you need is black beans, obviously, and you need corn, and let me just show you how that works. I'm going to take, I'm going to prepare half of this recipe, and so I'm going to take a can of black beans and put it in, and I'm going to take about half of this corn. Salad also has Roma tomatoes. Take 1 Roman tomato. It also includes diced red bell peppers, red onions, and green onions. So that's going in there. It also has pineapple, which is a source of vitamin C, as well as those red bell peppers. And then I have cilantro in here, and then half of a lime, the juice in the lime. Just squeeze that all in there. And then you take, the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of sherry, or 4 tablespoons of sherry vinegar, but since this is half of the recipe, I'm just going to put 2. I went to the store to look for this, and it's kind of hard to find, and there was sherry cooking wine, but you don't want that because it has alcohol in it, so, or maybe you do, I don't know, but it's better to get the sherry vinegar. And then you're going to take a tablespoon of honey, or a tablespoon and a half. Calls for a tablespoon, but since this is half, I'll just a little bit. And then you're going to put some pepper. And you're going to mix it all together. And can anyone tell me what the sources of vitamin C that I put in this? Did anyone notice? Yes, the lime. Pineapple and lime, I heard. Yeah. Anyone else? The bell peppers, yeah. So not only if you eat this with meat, you can also enhance the absorption of the iron with the bell peppers and the other ingredients. So I made samples that I'm going to put in the back so that you guys can take a taste. And I hope that you guys learned the importance of eating iron, and I hope you'll incorporate these suggestions in your own meals.